this is just where they must have put everybody, when everything fell. And some of them are still not quote unquote not fully dead. Some of them had their throat slashed so they couldn't make any noise.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was creepy. And so Negan's like, "Are you sure that these people were killed during the fall?" And again, he's trying to logically think this out and give everybody pause. And I think Daryl thinks that Negan's right, but
yes,
he also is not going to go against him. He knows what a terrible piece of crap that Negan is, and he is not going to give him the satisfaction of being right, even if he believes he is.
And the last time he did, he doesn't want to go against a friend because he still doesn't forgive himself for Rick.
Yeah,
right.
And for Glenn.
And
because he riled Negan up to the point of killing Abraham and Glenn at that point. So that's part of that. Is like a lot of him trying to keep Maggie satisfied. Like I obviously didn't know what situation seems hinky, and going into a darkened tunnel full of a mass grave during a storm that could easily flood the tunnel. Like all of these are red flags that he should know better. But he also he's like, well, she's motivated to get this thing done. And it's like, all right, we gotta get this going. But there's also part of, I think it's less about him like not trusting Negan. I think he's smart enough to know that Negan knows what he's saying, and he's been reliable with them for going on a good couple of years now. It's not like it's just new that Negan's doing the right thing. So like he gets this. But
considering the situation, I'm thinking he'd be very hesitant to go against Maggie on anything.
Yeah,
especially something dealing with Negan. Especially on that. So.
But one of the things I thought about as they were walking through, like, wouldn't the smell down there be just overpowering between the flooding and the thousands of dead bodies? I'm like,
it'd be the worst thing possible. Yeah.
You should have smelled them as soon as you got down the steps.
Yeah, that's like like we're on Mars, but we got to walk regular because it costs too much to add.
Right, exactly.
We just gotta go with it.
I guess you just tell yourself everybody stinks so bad now in this world that it's just
it didn't take me out of it. I just thought it was funny. I was like, man, wouldn't the smell be just like
they're just used to it. That's the thing. It's like medieval times where those times would always. I guarantee you, medieval times would be the worst smelling thing possible because you're walking bloody shell.
To be fair, earlier in the episode, all those baking army zombies in the sun couldn't have been a raw picnic to smell either.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to smell anything.
That's the real tragedy of the zombie apocalypse is everybody has just seared their nostrils so they don't have to smell anything.
They all Black Widowed themselves. They all stand their noses. They can't smell anymore.
All have that look.
That should be the effect. Everyone has a fake nose makeup going on. Everyone has crooked noses in this universe because that's how we get by now. We just don't smell anymore.
They have a room and you just hear people just begging and their face right against the desk. It's like that.
But we get the big brute walker, which have we seen one of these like big bloater type of like video game type of
unless there was a Walking Dead skin in Left 4 Dead. No, I don't think we've seen it. Not since the well in season 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say a corpse in the well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I just kept thinking of State of Decay. Like you get those big bloaters in State of Decay.
And he looked good too, the way his face.
And
that's good. That's good. Fat zombie.
Yeah, it had like the big like pustule on his shoulder and stuff. Like that was.
I thought the head was gonna slide off at one point, just given how he was like holding him.
Or I thought it was just gonna pop like a nasty zit or something.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty.
But again, it was attacking the kid, and Negan goes up. It was kind of awesome because Negan's struggling. He's able to finally kill this thing, and he turns around, and everyone is just staring at him. Nobody lifted a finger.
Which adds to what's going to happen later on, where it does make sense when he reacts the way he does.
Yeah.
Does he get a big speech here? He gets a big speech here.
Yeah. So Daryl says, hey, he's like, because Negan's like, he almost killed that kid, and Daryl's like, you don't care about that kid, and he's like, I don't care about that kid. He goes, who doesn't care about that kid is Maggie.
She doesn't care about that kid.
And he's giving a speech, and it's so funny because it's like, wow, Negan is the actual voice of reason in this whole thing. Like he is the one making sense.
But the thing is, like, he says a lot. Everything that he says makes sense. But the writing is good enough in this episode, and I'm happy to praise good writing in the show, and it actually delivers on that for me. That Maggie's side of the argument is also very good. It doesn't make her right necessarily, but in terms of like the necessity of needing to do what they need to do, as well as how she relays her emotional standpoint regarding having this guy around, I bought into it. I was very happy to see that like reflect well as far as getting two sides.
They're in such a crap storm of a situation where everybody's point of view makes sense.
And then Negan's like, look, I'm not going on. Like this is a death march. She's only has me. He's like, well, you're only here, because you know the area. And he's like, what? Nobody knows how to read a goddamn map. Like why? He's like, no, she brought me here to die. She brought me along to get me just away from everybody and in a situation where she's just going to kill me and all that. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to
die on her terms.
Yeah. If you want to kill me. And then he says something about Glenn. I forget what the exact thing he says, but he mentions Glenn, and then Daryl just hauls off and just slugs him.
It's not even he didn't even get to finish Glenn.
So this is what I read about. I don't know if you guys read this one. I was reading this. It was like a post-episode thing with Angela Kang from Entertainment Weekly. No, that was an article. It was another I read with Deputy Morgan. He did not want to say the Glenn line. That was not a thing that he wanted to do. They tried it like different ways. They said different things, and then they gave Glenn one a shot, and then sure enough, that's the one they left in the edit. Because he realized like there's no nothing about me saying Glenn is going to be good. And Negan is rightfully he's correct. Negan is smart enough to know that saying Glenn's name is not going to help him in this situation.
Right.
Like anyone that even had some kind of sympathy for him, they would lose that instantly if he mentions the person that he killed. So it's a choice. It's a choice that I get what it's more the episode needs this to happen more than Negan needs to.
But I think you can look at the character saying he's desperate enough to say, yes, like it's the elephant is in the room. It's already in the room. Yes, I did that to that guy. Like I am. You can all hate me. I'm the worst piece of crap. All of that. But that doesn't negate what I'm saying.
That's the strength of Jeopardy Morgan as an actor to sell the line now. Like we're in a good spot right now with Walking Dead. Like most of these characters, I very much tolerate, let alone like. But I think we established that Negan's like one of the best characters on the show right now, which is not something I thought would be coming. Earlier seasons.
Because he goes a little bit into Negan mode here, right? Like this is
he's not over being Negan,
but not crazy hyperbolic. Like I'm gonna rhyme and swear Negan. This is like I'm gonna assert myself because I'm not a pushover and I'm not somebody that's just gonna let everybody walk over me. This is where when I was talking earlier, I was pleasantly surprised with how this went because again, I really thought for the most part they were kind of setting Negan up to be very meek when it came to Maggie and him having to go out of his way to prove that he's not the same guy that killed her husband and he's not the same guy that killed all those people and was the person he was and that he's just going to sheepishly kind of go along. So the fact that he kind of got to a point and then pushed back and
because he's irritated by her, like I like it too. I like that he's like, no, I'm not all of a sudden going to be a good guy.
Well, irritated by the scenario they're pushing in, right? Like it's
no, he's irritated by her because everyone else kind of okay. Even though they hate him, they know the things he's done. They've seen what he did to help to help them with that war, right? They can kind of push down the hate for him because he didn't kill somebody that, for the most part, didn't kill somebody that they love like she did. She's the reminder to everyone, not just him, but to everybody in the group. She keeps bringing that up. Like, so there's nothing he can say in this group. Like, every time he sees her, she gives him that look, and everybody responds in kind because they don't want to offend Maggie. So he's almost irritated by her now. Like, you came back.
I was going to say, it's like the ultimate call out for her to bring him along on this, right?
Yeah.
Like he says, it's like he feels like he's in the crosshairs.
Yeah.
He brought out so that she would have an excuse at some point to kill him, right?
And I think even Angela Kang, when I listened to the episode, the extra, she said it too. Like, like Negan is annoyed by Maggie. Like, he's not that good of a person that he's like, he might, part of him might feel a little bad that it happened that way, but because he got off on killing people like that. But still, he is annoyed that he's put in this position every time she's there.
I can buy that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
It's based around like circumstance and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
And then Maggie kind of has a rebuttal, right? Like Maggie's like, look, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you that, part of me doesn't want to do exactly what you said, but,
right.
I'm not the same person that left 6 years ago. And she's, basically says like, the part of me that was here from before I left is the only thing keeping me from just killing you outright.
I love that line.
And the more time goes by, I feel like I'm losing that part of it. And so, again, easy to just be like, ignore it or whatever, but no, she confronts it head on and is like, no, you're right. I
and no one's
opportunity, I will
like,
kill you.
Yeah, and no one in that group is going to be like, oh, Maggie, you have to let it go. Oh, hell no. Nobody's going to say that to her.
Clearly, I mean, when they didn't lift a finger to help him, with the bloated walker, then.
I would like to say though, I'm really appreciating that they're dealing with it right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, rather than like dragging it out over however many episodes and
yes.
just having them give each other dirty looks for 3 or 4 episodes, not having it out.
Well, yeah, that was one of my issues, at least with the third section of the season 10 with those bonus episodes, where like it teased the idea that this would be a thing. And again, I get that those are made after the fact, and they already had a plan in place. It's kind of like, here's some filler stuff, but that's a big tease to give you the kind of thing that you really do want to see, given everything that's happening right now, and just not deliver on it. That's it. I guess if you binge the show, the last thing you saw before this was the whole Negan episode. So you're in a good, and that was like the best episode. So if you're in a good spot here to be like, all right, well now we can see kind of the results of all this.
Yep. All right, so we cut back to the Commonwealth crew, and we see that it's hilarious. Princess is acting like she's in the middle of a sitcom, right? Like she's watching everything going on, and she must have
happy to be around people too.
Yeah, she must have. She's got like total recall, right? Like didactic memory or whatever you call it. Like she doesn't forget anything, so she's literally listening. And on top of that, she's very intuitive. So she's listening to all these conversations. She's memorizing everybody's names. She's studying their patterns. Like, oh hey, those two are getting it on, and the others are just like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, when this one goes, on break every 6 hours, and then 3 minutes later this other one goes, and then they're gone for like an hour, and then they both come back, and it's been. Just kind of seeing everything, and then she goes, "Yeah, they're probably most of the time is probably spent with them taking their uniforms off."
Yeah, Yumiko has almost like a mother when a child sees something you don't and says it, and you go, "Oh, like."
You mean Princess?
When she says to Princess, when Yumiko says to Pretty, like, "What did you see? Like, how did you see that?" Like, she almost became a mother. So, the way that conversation, because it reminds me of how a child can see something and you totally are in the middle of thinking about 20 million other things, but the kid is not. They don't have all that stuff in their head. They can just see and figure it out.
I got to say, I have nothing against the actors. Eleanor and Matsuri is playing Yumiko. I feel like the show wants me to feel a lot more for this dynamic than I have in mind, and I think a big reason is because they wanted a different character to be here, Michonne, and they can't have her, and this is like the next step.
Oh right, yeah.
Especially given what we learn about Yumiko, that she's a lawyer, and that we're going to discover she has a relative that's also in this place. Like, this should have been Michonne, and I feel like that
because Yumiko was never a mother figure to anybody.
It feels like we're kind of like, well, we need somebody here because because Avengers Endgame's Denai Guerrera needed to leave, so we need to build somebody else. What other female character can we? I guess Yumiko, but it's like I don't think the show's done enough work to get me to care. Like I care about Ezekiel, I care about Eugene, and like Princess obviously is a new character, but like the nature of her, suggests that you need to be invested in that, and it's working, but. Again, she's not doing a bad job. It's just like the show hasn't given me a lot. Like that one episode with her, with Princess, and it's focused on how much she cares about Yumiko. And it's like, I don't care that much about Yumiko. Like, she's just better.
Because she's written so subdued and quiet, like quiet, subdued. And
they really haven't done a whole lot to give her a lot of depth. I mean, there's not a foundation there to build the character around for us to care about. And because of that, it's kind of, like you said, Aaron, it seems like a lightweight attachment to Yumiko because, as a stand-in for Michonne. I will say, though, I'm no psychiatrist or anything, but I definitely feel like Princess has ADHD.
Oh, sure.
Because I know that ADHD people are they're hyper aware, they're hyper observant, they remember a lot of details, things like that, and I notice that because something I deal with, and my daughter also has. So that's what I mean, along with the other things that she has going on in her scrambled noggin.
Beyond like the isolation, being like the kind of outgoing person that she already seems to be, and like then like suffering from being alone for years at a time.
To be isolated so long.
That's gonna have an effect. So ADHD, possibly even on the spectrum to some degree. Like and that's part of the course of the show, which has always been very diverse as far as the kinds of people they're putting on here.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's so happy to just be around people. It makes sense.
But I just want to the Yumiko days. What it goes. This is like I'm trying to. What do I know about her? Like, she had a girlfriend that still lived at camp, and she filled with the bone arrow. I guess I can't pick much else.
Well, that was like the closest. Where that moment was funny to me. The way she reacted, not because of Yumiko herself, but just because she talked to her like what, like almost saying, "Honey, what did you see? Could you like tell me again?" And telling her the whole thing. But
this also leads to a jump cut that I don't quite get.
Thank you.
Right? It seems like there's a lot of leap in logic as far as guard like they're in a locked cage, right? I'm not wrong about this.
Yeah.
That's also there's other guards there, right? It's not like 6 people standing around, but because 2 of them leave every now and then, they just like automatically escape and got their armor. Like,
they'll raise their hand and say they have to go to the bathroom or what? I mean,
I
felt like I missed a scene or something.
It was like a big shortcut to be like we have to make a lot of guesses as far as what led to this. Like Russ, you said like they all had to go to the bathroom at the same time or something, and they just jumped these other guys and got away. Like I don't know. But
I mean, I get the concept. They set it up and say, oh hey, these 2 people take off their uniform while they're getting it on, and so I mean, this is I was like, yeah, they pulled the Star Wars trick, right? It's like Han and Luke jump 2 stormtroopers and steal their gear.
Except we see them jump 2 stormtroopers.
Exactly. Yes.
Where this goes like 1x + 1 = 2. Like wait, what does X stand for again?
Yeah. How do they go from a locked environment to?
Like they're missing a scene or something.
Yeah. Or if they would have been more clear that they have not free roam, like they can't just free roam, but there are other areas that they're like maybe that like that they weren't in a literally caged-in environment, if they were just kind of able to, it's like you're confined to this building, and obviously these two people are getting on a closet or something that they had access to. Then I was like, okay, they just snuck into the closet and jumped them, like while somebody wasn't looking. But yeah, I totally didn't get how they got from A to B.
Yeah.
But they did, and so they're able to kind of buffalo their way out. Yeah. And
because you would have thought they would have maybe shot something where the joke would be that those two people were actually hooking up and they were able to catch them. And she was right about the whole thing. I mean,
or sneak in, grab all the gear, and then lock the door and leave.
I would try to do some kind of little joke with Princess.
It feels like either a cut for time thing, or we don't want to make this too funny because the rest of the episode maybe it feels like a total balance thing.
Yeah, that might have been the case. It didn't feel like it was too comedic and it wasn't right.
Or like, hey, we would have had to build an entire other set that we don't have to go on.
That too.
I like the section of our podcast where we become walking detectives and we're going to figure out why the show doesn't make sense.
Yes. Tell us what you think in the Facebook group.
Yeah, that's what happened here. Yeah. It's a joke funnier than we realize.
So they find their way out, and then when they leave, they find this wall of the lost, and it's like this huge bulletin board of people that are looking for, like, conceivably Commonwealth citizens that have loved ones that that are out there missing somewhere. And it's like, hey, if you find these people, they get the fast pass, right? And so Princess actually finds one of the cards on the wall, and it's a relative of Yumiko's that's looking for her. And then she's like, we have to go. Like, I can't leave. We have to go back. And so. Conceivably, again, not to spoil what we know in the comics, but conceivably this is kind of their in to kind of get out of this detention facility.
Right.
But that's where we leave the Commonwealth group.
And to be fair to my comments on you, we're going to play the other side of it. Obviously, this is going to develop her character more, so we're going to get more of Yumiko, and I can respect that. It's just that for the time being, they put a lot on to invest me in something that I just don't really know why I'm supposed to be that invested in it. But I'm willing to say, yeah, of course we're going to get more. We've established that she's a lawyer, that she has some person that's in here. Those are things that aren't said for no reason.
Right. So we're back to the tunnel crew, and we find that two of the people that were with them grabbed a bunch of their gear, ammo, supplies and other stuff, and bailed. They took off. And of course they blame Negan because it's like, it's his fault. He sowed the seed of doubt in them, and they took their stuff.
And the logic was to not only leave, but take everything useful for the rest of the group with them.
Yeah.
which is such a screenwriting ploy. It's like, I guess we just
yeah. And nobody noticed.
Nobody noticed.
Nobody heard anybody, running with the stuff.
Yeah, and nobody had any packs attached to their body that had any of the others that had anything useful.
No.
Anyway, but then they hear what sounds like a horde coming at them, and they're pretty much at like a dead end. It's like they're at the end where I guess it's the rail cars, the subway cars that are blocked in the tunnel. Part of the tunnel's collapsed.
Oh yeah,
they've hit a dead end.
Game scene.
Yeah, the horde is coming at them. They're trying to get through. Can't. And
the subways have windows on them, right?
not the part that are truly underground. No,
not the ones.
No.
The back of those doors, I'm pretty sure I saw big windows.
Of the car. I thought you meant the tunnel. Yes.
Yeah.
I was very curious why the guys with big pointy weapons and things didn't just smash the fuck out of those windows and get inside the subway car. Just the labor we got to climb on top of the thing was bugging me.
I don't know. Maybe I couldn't really tell, but maybe since this was obviously they were throwing a crapload of dead bodies, maybe this was some kind of like fortified military subway car that they were using to shuffle stuff down that didn't have the windows so that the dead couldn't break in, or I don't know. Maybe they were fortified. I couldn't really tell, but obviously they're trying to get in and couldn't.
All I know is they're trying to open the door and they couldn't. But I'm like, dude, just break the window. That's what I kept thinking to myself. And spoilers for next week, but they get inside the subway. Like I know that happens in pictures. So it's just, okay, fine. There was rubble in front of the window. Okay, fine. We'll go with that.
So, Dog takes off, and Daryl.
Dog gets out of there.
Yeah. Daryl's trying to pick the dog up and literally hoist him up over on the top, and Dog's having none of it. So he runs off. Daryl goes after Dog. He literally starts.
Let me cut in because it was bothering me what you were saying because I'm in New York. I should know this. Those are reinforced glass. That glass. They did it because they are always worried about like if there's an earthquake or something like that for it not to shatter. So it's not made out of the typical stuff.
That's fair. I think it'd be like regular glass, but I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Who gives a shit about glass?
I mean, Roadblock is like a sledgehammer though, but fine. I'll go with it.
Roadblock.
So so Daryl takes off onto the tunnel. The rest of them decide they're going to go up and over.
But so Dog climbs under rubble into a subway, and Daryl's like, I'm the same size as Dog. I can do that too. I guess that's what he was like.
Yeah, I'll shimmy my way through here.
I'll make him go. I'm not the third biggest guy in this crew. I can make this piece of rubble.
Right.
Yeah.
So this horde, before we get to what happens, do you think it was sent?
The horde?
Yeah, I thought that.
Like, where did it come from?
No.
I guess a different direction, but.
No, I don't think it was sent.
You don't think it was
no one else popped up. I thought that at first. If someone else had like popped up behind them, then yes. But then
I thought it was the dudes that took off just made a bunch of noise or did something stupid and stirred them up.
Well, all the yelling and Negan and Maggie did probably help either.
Oh, sure. They had time to.
Those tunnels reverberate, right? There's probably plenty of sounds.
When Pippin dropped that helmet down that well,
Exactly.
that woke them all up.
Exactly.
They think it was a naturally occurring herd.
Yeah.
Well,
God, that's
and it could very well be. I mean, there's a lot of obviously with all that noise and stuff, something's either shifting down there or flooding or collapsing or whatever. So
I think they all had a contribution to it. I mean, the yelling, the whole thing with the running away,
But as opposed to it being deliberately sent out, what you're saying.
I don't think so.
Right. I don't think they were deliberate.
I wrote that with question mark because I'm thinking, okay, pretty quick.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I just figured it was just shenanigans that caused them.
And the way they play with time, I don't know how long they've been walking down this tunnel.
Well, that's be one night. Like that's the idea, right?
Yeah, that's the whole. I mean, that's why they went under there to begin with.
I just always,
What, an hour or two, or like
I always humoured by how a horde is so silent and then suddenly they're right there and you can't escape them. That's really convenient.
Yeah,
the horse.
Yeah, the silent horde until they're right on you.
Ninja zombies.
Yes,
that's right.
So of course everybody goes over the top. Negan and Maggie are the last two left. Negan goes up.
There's only one way to this happen.
Yeah.
Have to be the last two.
So Maggie is starting to go up, and she can't fully climb up. The zombies are grabbing at her. Negan is standing there staring at her, just staring. And then of course Maggie yells to Negan. She's like, Negan, and then he stares for a couple seconds more and then turns away. Now, and that's the episode. Now, I think this is. We're going to speculate for next week. I obviously.
None of us think Maggie's dead. Let's go right there right now.
I'll go one further than that. I think Negan was going to grab something to lower down to her to grab on to help her climb up. Like I don't think Negan was walking away as in "F you," you can just die. I don't think that. I think he's grabbing something to either to save her or he's going to jump down, go back in the inside, open the door from the. I don't know. Like I don't think that he's like.
Gee whiz, Russ. Why would they cut it to look like Negan did that at the end of the episode? Why would they do that?
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I can see that being an option. It didn't seem like he had the most urgency to run, to walk back in a different direction to go grab something to tell you what. I think it's more of a means to an end. It's not about being evil. It's more about being convenient for him, which speaks to what Daryl's getting at as far as her being an irritation. Like, if there's going to be this constant tension, he's taking it seems like one option could be he's taking the easier way out as far as instead of trying to make her, make it up to her, apologize, what's the word? Reprimands.
Make amends.
Make amends. Thank you.
And he never could.
Instead of trying like working his ass off, make amends. Instead, I was thinking reparations. Like that's not a good word. He's just like, you know what? Let's just cut our losses here. I'm sick of trying to like be the good guy to make this work. Let's just let her go, and then I go back to being the Negan that people kind of starting to trust again. That's kind of where my head's at.
But in my head was everybody knows that those are the last two, and if she didn't make it, they're going to assume that it's his fault. And so
that's show bullshit.
Well, sure. I think he needs to save her in order for them to not think that it's like, oh, you killed Glenn, now you killed Maggie. Like you.
Oh, there's no blood on his hands or anything. Like they can't say that he did something.
But they don't know, right?
That's
it would be his word against nobody.
Yeah,
that's the drama you need to have at the beginning. Right. But it's just because it's the pause and the way I get it's cut a certain way, but it's like if you want to run and grab something, he'd run and grab something.
Right. Well, no, I think he was jacking. I think he wants her to know. Like I think ultimately he's gonna save her. He wants her to know. Like, look, I could have let your ass die, but I didn't. Like it was within.
Are you saying you think like next week pulls up and it's like immediately he comes back and rescues her? Yes. That's the first shot. Okay.
Yep. And I think the pause was there to just let her know, like, you think you know me, but you don't know me. But at the same point in time, like, I had it fully within my ability to just walk away and let you die.
I accept that that's a possibility. I'm still thinking that it is purposeful, but that's not to say that I think Maggie's dead, obviously. But I think that it'll come down to another moment where he'll have to save her. He'll have to really save her, and we'll go from there as far as like proving worth or what have you. But
I've seen the future, so I won't even spoil.
It's a way I look at it as too, is it's a way for him to save her without him being a hero, right? Because even if he saves her, she's not going to look at him and be like, oh, he has changed. No, like they're still going to know where each other stand, even if he does. So
there's going to be some kind of saving that goes on. I recognize that to some. I'm just curious about when it happens. Do you think it's more immediate than I do? I think
we shall see. And that's the episode. That's where we land. So, busters for this week. Daryl, how many busters do you give this episode?
I enjoyed the heck out of this episode. I give it 4.5 out of 5. I really dug it. The story got me compelled to watch it from the beginning to the end. So yeah, I dug it.
Mr. Dietz?
I give it also 4.5. I thought it was a strong start to the season. I like the little Mission Impossible opening for the MREs. That was cool. I wasn't here to talk about that, but I thought that was a good sequence. Avery. Okay, cool. I'm glad I'm with the consensus because that's really what matters to me.
Right.
I thought the whole subway thing was right out of the video game. Okay. And I enjoyed it quite a bit, so 4.5.
Mr. Newirth?
I'm at a 4. Like I like this episode quite a bit as far as like getting me going. As far as back in the Walking Dead world, whatnot. I like seeing some of these characters. And obviously, I'm curious. Like given that Call Me Party played around the idea that's called part 1. I'm curious like why it needs to be part 2 and not just like another episode. Like I want to see if there's a real fulfilling of this arc to like necessitate this being a 2-parter thing. Yeah. So I'm kind of like holding some reservations as far as that goes. And I mean, there's little stuff like the whole random Commonwealth escape plan that just didn't make much sense to me. Little things like we'll get back on that. But in terms of like just an exciting episode, I really liked what was going on here. You mentioned the direction a lot, and I agree with you. I think the production and the score and the way it's edited together and came together really well. So it's a really strong season opener. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
ask really quick. I'm sorry, real quick. When you mentioned the direction, because I was here for that before. Did it seem like the subway stuff had like some color saturation going on? Because it kind of like looked texturally different than it normally does to me.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, it was just, exactly. It was like very just okay. I just wanted to ask. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, good. I'm going to give it 4.5 also. I think the production, direction, editing is really kind of what the uptick was for me over the kind of the couple of shortcomings that we saw. But yeah, I'm strong open for the season. I was really concerned about where they were going to go and whether or not the things were going to kind of start off on a good footing. I really like that they're going head on with the Negan and the Maggie stuff because again, like you said, Jim, I didn't want this to be like, oh, we're 4 episodes in and they're still just sneering at each other. That would have gotten old real quick. So yeah, I think they're going in the right direction and here we go, beginning of the
end. Now you went over why Dave Baker on, right? The episode, what it is?
I mentioned it.
Okay, cool.
So that's what we thought about this week's episode. What did the Facebook group have to say about Asheron Part 1?
Well, you mean the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/WDTV podcast?
The same one?
That Facebook group? Okay, well, we did get some cool buster ratings this week from some of our Star Wars listeners. Thank you guys for writing in. Greatly appreciate it as the new season kicks off. Johnny Stower starts us off with, I loved it. It's going to be a good season, I think. Cool. Love the optimism there. Mike Jones, 5. Exhibit A of why the show should not be ending out of 5. I really expected Negan to play the long game or possibly even be a good guy. Instead, he goes right to the jugular about Glenn and leaves Maggie to die. As far as all the Commonwealth stuff goes, Princess was the best part of it. I really hope she makes it out alive and ends up on one of the other shows. Okay. See her the world beyond crew. That'll be fun. Mary Chuck, yeah. 5 still is a better subway system than New York City out of 5. It was a great return, and there wasn't much that disappointed. I'm on Team Negan for this episode. As for the Commonwealth, I loved every interaction with Princess, my new favorite. Looking forward to the season, and a bit sentimental that it's the last. That's okay. We got more content coming, Mary. Derek Powell, 4.5. Negan's redemption tour being derailed out of 5. As soon as we think Negan will redeem himself and be a hero, Walking Dead goes Walking Dead, and I love it. Finally listened to every podcast episode, and now I will start participating. Never liked nerdy shows or comics, but after years of my wife begging me to give Walking Dead a try, I'm now obsessed. Print back Jordan. Oh wow, Jordan from Jersey. He's Jordan from Austin now. Yeah. He's doing his fall. Richard Chopper, Cherry Charrington. 5, it's been made even harder for us to watch in the UK out of 5. It originally aired on Fox Channel here, which has now disappeared, and is now airing on the streaming site Disney+. Wow. So I now subscribe to Netflix, Amazon, and now Disney as well as my TV service. So this season better be worth it. From the first showing, it looks like it will be. And Princess is my new favorite. I like how there was a toy bunny rabbit in the first episode of the final season, just like there was in the first episode of the first season. Great to have you guys back and look forward to hearing the podcast. Wow, they're showing The Walking Dead on Disney Plus in the UK.
On the Star thing.
Wow, it's crazy. Brent Jones wrote in with 3 zombie soldiers out of 5. The opening mission seemed too foolish in my opinion. They're experts at this, and repelling him with no other exit does not seem like a move that they would make. Love Negan leaving Maggie, but struggle to believe she allowed him on the mission to begin with. They didn't the Commonwealth story except explaining why, what's her name wanted to stay. Didn't realize it was her brother. You mean Yumiko? Didn't realize it was her brother until Talking Dead. Maybe I missed it. Maggie seems to be bad luck everywhere she's ever been. Has wound up in ruins from the farm onward. Maybe Negan was right. And those are our Buster ratings that were given to us this week for the first episode. If you, too, would like to achieve podcasting fame and have your Buster review read on our show, then by all means, join the group. It's the Walking Dead TV podcast group on the Facebook.coms, and send us your comments as well.
Excellent. Well, I guess that'll do it for this week's episode. So where can folks find you elsewhere on the internet, Mr. Daryl Taylor?
You can find me on Nothing's On every week, unless there's a storm or something, with Jim and Donnie. Or you can find me talking about Batman on Gotham by Geeks with Russ and Hassan. Or just go to Taylor Network Podcast and check out all the podcasts on that network.
Aaron Newworth?
You can find me co-hosting my own podcast, my friend Abe, on Out Now Aaron A. We talk about weekly releases, and we do a commentary track. We just did one for Candyman in honor of the upcoming film Candyman, which we're excited to talk about. I write my Walking Dead write-ups for We Live Entertainment. You can find those there, along with my other movie reviews. I write for Lights of Blue for Blu-ray and Criterion Reviews, and I just put up a new Variety article about Don't Breathe 2. You can find that on the internet. And I'm on Twitter, Aaron Smith.
Jim Dietz?
Oh, Don't Breathe 2. I heard how good sound mixing. So.
The sound is excellent.
I'm sure that part is really good.
It's a really good part, actually.
It's the rest. So that's the problems. You can check me out on Nothing's On every week with Daryl and Donnie, like Daryl said, over on the TaylorNetworkPodcast.com. Also, we're going to be spinning out a DC TV podcast pretty soon because Superman Lois just ended and Flash just ended. We have a lot of things to talk about over there. So you can check that out. Also, TaylorNetworkPodcast.com. And you can check me out on Twitch at Yoda Jones. I've been streaming over there intermittently. Last time was Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not sure what it'll be next time. You tune in and find out.
Excellent. And you can stay tuned right here at hhwled.com for this here podcast, as well as any specials that pop up. And like Daryl said, over at Walking Dead TV podcast, or over at Gotham by Geeks, where we just wrapped up Long Halloween Part 2, which is a lot of fun. So check that out.
That was so good, man.
Yes, it was.
Really enjoyed it. Did you guys talk about the Blue Beetle thing after it, too?
No, because I rented it through Amazon, and they didn't have the short with it. So,
okay.
So there you have it. All right. So thanks everyone for listening. We will be back next week for Asheron Part 2. So until there's no more room in hell and the dead walk the earth, you'll never know 3 minutes of this podcast went on pause so we could watch Spider-Man No Way From Home.